J.F. Barbie is the one who got a hold of these birds that were being developed. They weren't quite developed yet. And he brought them here and just continued to cross the different breeds. And finally, he settled on the breeds that are the dark red chestnut color with the white tail plumage and the white feathers. And
what is the advantage of that, the colors?
Well, I guess the reason at that time that they were breeding them was they were trying to get stock that was tasty and colorful, but yet at the same time, whenever the plumage had been plucked, it made for a nice table dressing. You didn't see the black marks that you would on a wild turkey. He actually renamed it the Bourbon Red Turkey, obviously after Bourbon County, Kentucky, where he was from, and then also the red because of the chestnut plumage that it had.
So it's a deep-rooted Kentucky bird, huh?
It is a Kentucky bird, and that's what I want people to know. It's definitely a Kentucky bird. And believe it or not, in the 1930s and 1940s, before all the commercial birds really started, the Bourbon Red Turkey was the turkey of choice all across the country at that time.
Well, that's something we can be proud of.
Yes,
definitely. What is the big difference between the Bourbon Red and a typical commercial turkey you might buy in a supermarket?
Well, the ones that are commercially raised, they usually have more concentrated numbers. They're confined. They're sometimes growth hormones and chemicals and fed on a routine basis. And they don't really get out much.
Okay.
The Bourbon Reds, the ones that I'm raising, the free range, I believe in letting them be natural turkeys and getting out and running the fields and eating the bugs and rolling in the hay. They roll in the dirt to take baths. And
all things turkeys should do.
That's right, absolutely. And that's the other thing too with commercial breeds now. The specifics to be a heritage breed is they grow slow, and their skeletal structure has time to grow and to support the body weight. Live a long life, if they're allowed to, that is. And also they can breed naturally. Commercial breeds can't breed naturally because they have been overdeveloped for the broad breast, so therefore they can't breed naturally.
Well, tell us about Star Farms.
Okay. Well, my husband and I, Scott
He's the guy
Wheeler,
over there shooting the turkeys.
the one that's bringing them in. In 2003, we decided that we wanted a farm, and we had lived in the Maryland area, and we saw an ad. We moved down here in November of 2003. And from the very beginning, we wanted to grow our own food and be a sustainable farm. And I fell in love with turkeys. People say that they're dumb, but they're not. They're overly curious, sometimes to their own demise. I guess it was about 3 years ago, we started off selling about 25 birds, and every year I have doubled my production, but every year we're still selling out. So I still don't have enough turkeys.
For being a turkey farmer, Kathy sure is attached to these little creatures, and you can see why. They've got social skills, great personalities,
How you doing?
and even a sense of humor. There may not be a more fitting place to sample this tasty turkey than at Woodford Reserve Distillery. The Hart County Bird and the Woodford County Distillery both have a rich history and tradition, and both have a strong hold over Kentuckians' hearts and stomachs. Mark Williams, the executive chef at Brown Foreman, is teaching a cooking class that stars the Bourbon Red.
Well, we built our menu around heritage breeds of livestock and heirloom vegetables. And so we also chose recipes that were traditional and hand-me-down heirloom recipes to go along with that. I've done a holiday-themed meal using a heritage turkey, the Bourbon Red, and Brussels sprouts with shagbark hickory syrup, sweet potato souffle, Osgood pie, also known as Oh So Good pie, and cornbread stuffing. And we had a cream of mushroom soup. And all of the items that we used were locally grown and manufactured. Well, the Bourbon Red Turkey was bred with flavor in mind and size, and it really became the #1 turkey on the American table because of the flavor characteristics. And it's just a naturally good tasting turkey. The turkey that we used was pasture raised, which means it wasn't in a cage, and it was able to eat the right types of food that appeal to wild turkeys. So you have a very balanced natural diet, and that adds to the flavor quite a bit. A little warm broth on there. The Bourbon Red, because it was bred for flavor originally, people really identified with the taste of the bird, and they felt like when they bought one that they were really getting something that was just far superior to what they had been eating from the commercially available turkey.
This is a Kentucky bird that a lot of people don't realize. Not only is the turkey itself an American heritage, just like historical buildings and apple pie and baseball, but the Bourbon Red is actually the Kentucky turkey. And my motto is Bourbon Red Turkey, a Kentucky heritage that's worth the tradition.
Fantastic.
So even though they may cost a little more than your commercial bird, it's remembering our heritage and
Right.
going back to our Kentucky roots.